Hello everyone, Mr. B here. So this week we're learning about Chapter 2, which has everything to do with kind of how the body communicates within itself. Whether it's through the different parts of the brain, the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, or these wonderful things known as neurons. And so today's video and today's activity is all about the different parts of the neuron and kind of how the neuron functions. And so what you're going to need for today is hopefully something that either you got from me earlier today, or it's hopefully resting outside your door, which is a wonderful little bag of candy. And so this is also an experiment because in the future there's going to be various activities where you are going to need ingredients and supplies, and I will never require you to have to get any supplies for my class, and so I want to make sure that I can get them all to you. So earlier today I went around to all of your houses, hopefully, and either gave to you, dropped off, or again, left outside your door, a little bag of candy, because you're going to be using this candy in the directions you're about to see. Now, if for some reason I was unable to get to you, because I only had one planning period to hopefully reach all of your homes, whether it be that I have the wrong address, I wasn't able to get to your house, or whatnot, unfortunately this means that you'll still be following the same directions, but you'll be drawing instead of making it out of candy. But if you didn't get this bag of candy from me, please send me a message on Schoology, because especially if I got the wrong address, I need to know that for future activities, because there's going to be other times where I need to drop stuff off. So without further ado, this is how you make a candy neuron. Alright, so to make your candy neuron, all you're going to need is a peel and pull Twizzler, thing of Skittles, so you're only going to be using one, a single Lifesaver, and a thing of Gummy Worms. So, we are going to start with the peel and pull Twizzler. We're going to talk a little bit more about what this represents, but essentially for now it's kind of the main section of our neuron. So now what we're going to use, gummy worms. And what these are going to represent is the dendrites of neuron. And what the dendrites do is they're what bring in the information. And so they kind of rest at the top of a neuron, and they receive the information. And you can use as many or as few as you want. But essentially, they come out at the top of the neuron, and information is sent in, and then it comes in through the dendrites. Now what the dendrites do is they bring the information to the cell body of the neuron, and to represent the cell body, we're going to use our Lifesaver. We're going to put that right where the dendrites are. So you have the information coming in through the dendrites and being sent to the cell body. And again, this is just like any cell that you have in the body. Inside the cell is something known as the nucleus. To represent the nucleus, we just need a single Skittle. So I'll use, why not, orange. Boop. So there we go. So now what we have so far, information comes in through the dendrites, it goes to the cell body, and then it is interpreted in the nucleus of the cell body of the neuron. So then what happens is that nucleus is saying, okay, the information that was sent in, we need to continue this message of norepinephrine. That's one of the neurotransmitters. So now that it knows what kind of signal it needs to send, that signal is now going to be sent, and the neurotransmitter is continuing to be sent down what we call the axon of the neuron. And so essentially the axon is where the information is then sent down. So it travels down the axon. And then, and you don't need to do this part, but I wanted to include, branch out in the bottom just a little bit. I'm just going to do a few of these. And this is what makes the synapse, which is at essentially the bottom of the neuron, where the message then continues through, like that. And this isn't going to stay the best, but that's okay. So there we go. That is your candy neuron, and essentially how this works, and I'm going to add a few more. So let's have the other one down here. And another one. Let's kind of... Hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. Up here. And I'm just gonna see if I can balance this on here. I probably can't. That's okay. I'll do it this way. Actually. Doing it a little sideways, but that's okay. Like that. The other one. Alright, so the way the signals are sent in your body is it's this string of neurons. And as you can see, though they can get pretty close, the neurons never actually touch, because this is a chemical or electrical signal. So what's happening is you have the previous neuron, it's sent its norepinephrine, which is just an example of a neurotransmitter. The synapse gets close to the dendrites of the next neuron, and then the information, the neurotransmitters, is sent outside into what we call the synaptic gap, where then the information is taken up from the dendrites of the next neuron. Takes that information, goes to the cell body. The nucleus of the cell body is like, norepinephrine. Sends more, travels down the axon, goes to the synapse. You have the next synaptic gap. Then the dendrites of the next neuron pick up on that information, says, oh, norepinephrine, that's what we need to send. And then it keeps going. And so that is how we communicate, or how our body communicates. And that is also how you make the candy neuron. And one final way to remember this is reverse alphabetical order. Dendrites is D, cell body, C, B, cell body, axon, A, D, C, B, A. Wow, now wasn't that fun? So, all that I need for you guys to do for today is, following the directions that you just saw, make your own candy neuron using, again, the bag of candy that I gave you guys. And there should be more than enough. I put extra candy in there because, I mean, who doesn't like candy? So you have more than enough. If you want to make more than one, feel free. But all I need you to do is to make one of the candy neurons, and then take a picture of it, label it, and then send that to me in the assignment on Schoology. As some side notes, of course, when I was putting together your bags, as you saw, every single candy that's in here is individually wrapped. When I put them together, I was wearing gloves, and, you know, I'd sanitized all of that, so everything is perfectly safe. And then also, if you don't know how to add markups, if you made your candy neuron and you're labeling it, if you don't know how to do that, don't worry. I made another video, which is in the same folder for today, that shows you how to do that. And again, as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, if for some reason you were unable to get the bag of candy, and if it's on my end, I really do apologize for that. All you're going to be doing is, again, following kind of the same directions, but you're going to be drawing it instead of making it out of candy. And it doesn't need to be, you know, a magnificent work of art. It's just to show me that you know the different parts of the neuron. And then that's it for today.